like he's waiting back there.
Yeah.
We have been in Vietnam for about 5 days, and I thought that we would sit down and kind of do like a first impressions and kind of share with you what we have experienced so far, because it's been interesting.
A whole new experience. Like when I think that we've reached the experience threshold of like, this is just kind of what Asia's like, then we just go to a new country and I'm just like, wow.
I think
this
we've
is
realized
completely
that
different.
every single country is probably very different than each other.
Yeah, and this is something we didn't experience in the US because the US is so big. So don't get me wrong, there is kind of a cultural difference in the US based upon state, but overall, you can travel basically everywhere in the US and there's not really any like deep culture shock. There's like the same basic rules apply to life. And we've discovered that that is just not the case whenever you're traveling from country to country.
Yeah, so even getting here, our first initial experience was walking into our apartment that we rented, and that was a very negative experience. We have had a lot of very contradicting experiences so far. I think we could probably describe it as that. It was, listen, a lot of people think that we have really low standards as far as where we're staying, but we do not.
I mean, we do. We do have low standards. Like we
have low amenities, but as
Yeah.
far as like cleanliness and mold go, this place, the air conditionings were like, mold was like pouring out of the air conditioning units, and it was not acceptable to us. And we arrived at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
We had to walk down this dark alley. Like, so a lot of these places are in alleys. You're not walking into this luxury hotel. Even if the space is luxury, you still have to go down this little deep alley. It was so dark. I had to use my phone to walk down this alley in this new country that I had no experience in whatsoever. I've never done anything like that. And everything inside of me, being from America, is like, this is a bad idea. Do not walk down a dark alley, okay? So I had to force myself deeply down a dark alley and then up multiple flights of stairs that I also had to use a light on my phone for to get to this room. And I was just like, it was so bad just from the beginning. I spent the entire night up trying to find us another place to stay and arguing with the booking company about why they should refund this.
Which they did eventually refund. And the next day we found a very nice place. We're staying in a very nice place now. It also is down a dark alley, but that is normal here. But this dark alley led to a very beautiful room with air conditioning and a nice bed and a very different experience.
Yeah, it was contradictory because I had looked everywhere for a hotel. I was looking for anything. I would have stayed in a $300 a night hotel as opposed to that place that we booked. But I went to every hotel because it was like, it's busy here. We're in the old quarter, and you guess you need to book at least a little bit in advance. I couldn't find us a room, and I went to the lady who owned this little homestay, and she didn't have any rooms in her actual homestay available for that night. So she let us stay in one of her other houses that she doesn't usually rent out for one night until her room here at the homestay became available. Like, she was so nice and so understanding. She even left a little, what was it, a llama? Like a rainbow llama in the room for Falcon. And, you know, because we had talked about, you know, having Falcon. She has 3 little girls. And so she was just so nice. It was just such a night and day experience. Like, this lady was just unbelievably kind and helpful, you know?
Yeah, so I think that you maybe just have to be, the place that we originally booked looked great online and had good reviews, and I don't know what happened. And also reading online on like Facebook, like this has happened to other people. You have conflicting, you can either have a really good experience or a really bad experience. And I think it's hard to figure that out, I guess. So anyway, we'll leave this place in the description. So that our recommendation, our positive experience recommendation. So let's move on to food because
Oh,
that is
man.
so important to us.
So excited about the food. Like I love it. Absolutely love it. A little bit more complicated.
Again, contradictory.
Yeah, the food itself is amazing, and but sometimes, a lot of times, there's a menu that's not, there's no English.
Trying to figure
good
out
luck.
what to order has been a problem. But once we get our food, it's really delicious. But we're going to be doing a whole video just on food. There's a lot more. It's just healthier. It is coming from Thailand. Thailand's food is delicious.
And the U.S.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. The food here there's a lot of fresh produce, and just not, I don't know, it's just so,
There
how would
is
you describe it?
vegan
It's so
and
good.
vegetarian options basically
Yeah.
everywhere you go. The option to be vegan or vegetarian here is
Very easy.
very easy. It's very simple. Whereas in Thailand and the U.S., we found that a little bit harder.
And it's not any more expensive here either. Like, they don't up the price for vegan and vegetarian food like they do. Right? Have you noticed that?
Not really. I think I may have paid extra for oat milk one time at a coffee thing.
Okay. Well, I mean, like,
But
if you
no,
go
it
in
wasn't.
and if you get like a dish, I guess the dishes, like, are not any more expensive to like veganize them.
No, not that usually there's vegan options on the menu, and they're basically the same price as everything else, you know?
But the food here is definitely more our vibe, our style of eating. I am really excited to figure out what I need to order everywhere I go, because I know that I will like it.
Yeah,
So
like,
much.
I mean, Thailand's food is really good. Like, Thailand is really good at spices and herbs and having intense flavors. But I think Vietnam is a little bit better at the fresh produce side of things. There is a lot
And veggies.
of vegetables and produce in everything here, which is something, as I really think it depends on the type of person you are. If you're a person like my family, for example, would probably choose Thailand's food or American food. Well, they probably wouldn't choose Thailand food because they don't like spicy food, but overall, they would prefer that type of
Like the meat and the
carb
carbs.
type food, whereas we would prefer like the Vietnamese, more like a lot of vegetables, maybe a little bit of meat, maybe not. Doesn't really matter to us. But we do like a lot of vegetables and greens.
Coffee in Vietnam is incredible. They have the strongest, best coffee I've ever had.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So coconut coffee.
Yeah. You can continue.
Coconut coffee is incredible. Should I drink coconut coffee? Probably not a lot. It runs my sugar up really high. I don't know what's going on with that coffee. Traffic.
Oh, yeah. The traffic is, I would call it functional chaos, is the way I like to describe it. It works, but there's no rules, I don't think. I don't understand.
I've
them.
never seen a speed limit. They literally, the cars just turn into each other and somebody just moves.
Well,
And
you've got cars, motorbikes, bicycles, people bicycling carts, tour
food
buses,
carts.
food pedestrians,
It is
strollers.
just-
Like, there's just everybody's on the road, going every which way.
If you guys have ever seen the Bee movie, like it literally is like a beehive. Like, it's just so interesting, like how it just works itself out. And like, coming from other countries, like in the U.S., when a car's trying to like get over, there's a lot of states, not necessarily like Tennessee and stuff like that, but like, it's really hard. People will not let you over. Whereas here, it's just, they kind of just merge together, and somehow without road rage, it's just kind of worked itself out. There is a lot of beeping. Like, they honk for everything.
But it's not an aggressive honk. It's more of like,
letting
here
you
I
know.
come. I'm coming behind you.
Going through an intersection, beep, 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 all day, horns constantly. If cars driving by you, they'll beep to let you know that, or a motorbike, that they're coming beside you. The problem is it scares the living crap out of me, and I almost jump out of the road. So it's not. I know that there's motorbikes coming. I'd prefer them not beep at me, but that's okay, I guess.
So we will never be driving here.
No.
Walking here is also, I feel like I've done really well considering the amount of stress that could happen. I feel like I've trusted the process a little bit. But if you want to cross the street, you literally just cross the street. You don't wait till it's clear, because it's never clear. You just people will stop or go around you or brake really fast.
Or you wait till Asher crosses the street.
Yeah,
and then you
usually
huddle behind him like this close, just to make sure that if there's a bike in front of him or behind him, is it?
It's for Falcon, because I'm
Is
usually
it?
carrying
I'm
something.
actually pretty good at crossing the street. feel like I have that personality that I'm okay. I'll just walk across and expect you guys to just stop.
Yeah, maybe
not
that is
really-
why it's been so easy for me to cross the street, because I'm following you.
It is. You never cross the street by
No,
yourself.
that's true. Okay.
You never go first either.
But it has been interesting. And so we thought that like Bangkok traffic was crazy. That was organized crazy.
It has lanes. Like, Bangkok has like multiple lanes, kind of like the US does. It also has pedestrian walkways, like you have sidewalks. You have your lanes for cars. You have bike lanes. So anyway, basically there's no lines of traffic. No, everybody walks on the same road. Your pedestrians, your cars, your bikes, everything's on the same road. It's just more, there's no organization.
There's not even
to it.
really even like a right lane and a left lane. Like the cars could go this way or that way, or be over here going that way.
Yeah, they don't care. Do you want to come sit with us? You want to come sit up here with us? No. Okay. The next biggest thing that we've realized is it is cheaper. It is cheaper than both the U.S. and Thailand.
Yeah.
It's not like a significant difference, obviously, from Thailand, but I mean, it is a little bit cheaper. I also love all the hiking off-brand gear.
There's been a lot better shopping here. Not sure how quality wise it'll hold up, but we're about to go to Sapa, which is a mountainous region, and it'll be probably rainy some and cooler. So we both bought some pretty nice jackets. I mean, nice. Are they nice? I don't know. We bought some new jackets. Okay, we'll see if they're nice.
I bought a hiking backpack. Another one.
Another hiking backpack.
Because the first hiking backpack was just okay. I needed a bigger backpack, honestly.
Yeah.
And more support for my shoulders.
Got Falcon some new clothes here.
Which were real cheap. The clothes weren't. Falcon's clothes are not super expensive. Except for a rain jacket that was almost as much as ours.
Yeah, that was an actual quality rain jacket.
It's
from
real
a
cute.
nice little store. And the food here is slightly less expensive. Like, you can get a meal for under $2 for sure.
Oh yeah, I haven't found it to even be an issue with the food situation. Even in nicer restaurants, the food hasn't been unreasonable.
Yeah. Accommodations, at least where we're staying, we're in Hanoi, have not been significantly less expensive.
Yeah, it's been about the same, honestly. Maybe that has to do with our lack of planning.
Yeah,
though.
probably.
So, and our need for more space, because we've discovered that with Falcon, we need a bigger room. We can't be in like this tight little cramped room.
Not for more than a couple of days. Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
We will say that there's been a little bit more of a scammy type of interaction that we've had here. I keep getting offered drugs. This guy literally, so they offer you cigarettes all the time, okay? They walk around with like these things to offer you cigarettes. We don't smoke. And I was like, no, thank you. And then he's like, weed? I have weed. And then he starts showing me pictures of weed. And I was like, I still don't smoke, thank you. And then he was like, cocaine. I got cocaine. And I was like, that's tempting, buddy.
Yeah,
But thank you.
it's brown,
No,
yeah.
thank you.
No.
I also ordered a Grab, and then a taxi driver kind of thing showed up and told the guy that he was a Grab, and then somehow the information got misconstrued with the guy that was helping us get to our Grab car, and then we got in this taxi. And he canceled our Grab like via my phone because he was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "What do you mean where I was going?" And then he looked at my phone and he hit the button to cancel my Grab. And then that made me mad. And then so he tried to play this off, and I was like, "No, you are not Grab." And then we were like, "We're getting out of the car right now."
Yeah, and he kind of argued with us about pulling over, and Asher literally had to open his door.
I opened the door
to
and
start getting out
and picked
while
Falcon
he
up.
was
I was like, "I will get out of the car."
we were in traffic, so we
Yeah,
weren't
it
going
wasn't
very
going
fast.
very fast.
But yeah, we were gonna just get out of the car, like right there in the middle of the road. It was
Yeah.
so irritating.
Was it that big of a deal in reality? I mean, I see people jump in taxis all the time.
It was the principle of the fact
it was
that
a principle
he canceled. He said he was our Grab driver, and he canceled our Grab order. Which in the future,
thing. You look at the tag.
obviously, we need to be more observant and careful about stuff. That will not happen again.
Ever.
Yeah, and we are really careful. Is the thing that like that never happened to us. We haven't taken very many Grabs, I don't guess, like in Thailand.
I always look at the tag, but the guy that was there, that was at the little restaurant that we were eating
We were talking to him, and
yeah,
stuff.
and so he was like, because he hollered at the guy and spoke to him in Vietnamese, and like was like, I think this is your Grab. And I was like, okay. And then I didn't
almost
even pay attention.
Wonder if there was something going on there too. I don't know.
I don't know. Because he ordered the guy actually who we were talking to at the restaurant, my Grab app couldn't find the address that we were at. So he actually
Yeah.
tapped in the address and ordered the Grab for me.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it was him. I actually think that the taxis just drive around. Also, the guys on the bikes with the little push cart things, they drive me so crazy. Listen, I'm trying to be a nice person, okay? But like, I literally am like, no, thank you. Until eventually they'll keep asking me. Like, they keep pushing it. Like, ride, just around, ride, give you good. I'm like, the answer was no 5 minutes ago. It's still no.
Also, if they, like, sometimes the people want us to buy something, they decide to hand it to Falcon, our kid, so that, like, Falcon will want it and will cry if we don't buy it for them. Like, I do feel like the sales thing is too pushy and really annoying. But we're pretty good about.
Oh, I'm
No.
pretty hateful anyway. So I'm just like, and honestly, if they get mad at me, I've had them get mad at me because I don't like want to do whatever they want me to do, and like, or buy whatever they want. This one guy got mad at me because I didn't want to buy something that he had, like it was probably cigarettes or whatever he had on like this cart thing, and he like, and he got all mad and stuff. And I hadn't even been to the ATM. I was literally looking for an ATM. I was like, I didn't have any money anyway, and I was like, are you going to give it to me for free? Because I can't find an ATM that works. So I was really irritated about it.
To be fair, we're in a very touristy area, and you know, this is the way they make their money, and so whatever. But it
Hate
is
looking like a
annoying.
tourist sometimes,
I know,
but I'm
I mean,
so
we
white.
We are tourists. So that's been the main.
That's been the
I don't
only
know.
part that I've actually found like super
Annoying.
irritating. Yeah.
But we've only been to a very small part of Vietnam overall. I think it's really cool. I'm excited to keep exploring and go up into the mountains, experience different areas besides this area, which is a really cool area, by the way.
Yeah, we really like it. It's just a whole new experience. We're really excited. I mean, we're excited that it's different. You know, that it's something new. So
More stuff for us to learn.
I do realize why people go to Thailand before they come to Vietnam, because Vietnam, if you
Not your
culture shock wise, Vietnam is a little bit harder to navigate if you are not used to being in a different country.
It would have been really hard if we hadn't have spent a couple months in Thailand before we got here.
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
not exactly. It's not exactly as accommodating to tourists. Like, not that it's not friendly. It's just like not everything that they put in place is put here for tourists. Like in Thailand,
It's really easy.
basically everything, they're like, they had tourists in mind when they put up a sign. You know, it's almost always there's some English or something. you know?
Yeah. And it's pretty, it is still accommodating to people who speak English. Like, it hasn't been that big of a deal. There's pictures on most menus, but, you know, like, okay, so one example is like when we go and buy street food in Thailand, it's already kind of like pre-packaged and you can just grab it and trade out money. But like here, the street food, you usually have to order something.
And you sit down at these little tables with these little squat chairs.
Yeah, and it's not usually in English, so we need to learn some Vietnamese words, and which is just more challenging for us, which is fine. We need to learn how to do that, but just it's not
takes a little bit.
To us.
It takes a little bit more work on your part, and you have to want to experience things and travel a little bit more to get to experience Vietnam than Thailand. Yeah. Not everything is just going to be easily handed to you, like, go here to see this. It's not. You have to put a little bit more research and effort into actually being a traveler here.
Yeah, okay.
But so far, we love it.
Yeah, we have lots more to come on Vietnam. We have a visa here for 90 days. I'm not quite sure if we'll stay here the whole 90 days, but pretty close to it. We are pretty go with the flow. We have our next stop planned, and then I don't know what we're doing after that. So.
Our next stop in Vietnam. Right?
Yeah, our next.
We don't have our next country really.
No, we have some options though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So.
You guys can let us know what country you think we should go to next, or really, what areas in Vietnam do you recommend if you've been here or know anything about it? Because we're pretty. Our schedule's pretty open for the next 90 days.
Yeah, because we didn't plan anything for Vietnam, honestly, like zero, zilch. Yeah. So
we were going to only stay here for 4 days, and we've already extended our stay here because
there's so much to do.
There's so much to do, one, and two, our first couple days here were kind of exhausting from trying to move.
Yeah, just the first couple of days didn't go very well. We didn't get to do anything that we really wanted to do. Also, I want to get tattoos, so.
They're much cheaper here.
They are much cheaper here. I'm not saying that they're well, I don't know. I mean, they're pretty cheap here in comparison to the U.S., so.
But anyway.
So, tattoos to come, guys. The one thing I'll spend money on.
How dare you be so irresponsible, Ashley?
Hey. This is a lasting souvenir, okay? You know all those
artwork.
People that come and buy that little hats and stuff to take home?
Or spend $600 on a meal that you just are gonna digest?
Yeah, I would rather buy a tattoo that's gonna be here forever. Well, until I'm not. And then you can put my skin up on the wall, okay? You can just dry it and you can put it in a picture frame on the wall.
We always end our videos so weird.
You probably shouldn't put that in the video. I think that's too much.
Okay, bye.